What is going on? And welcome to another episode of High Stakes with Steve Rozenberg. And this is where we talk about real life, real business, and most importantly, real solutions, right? Because in the world of business, in the world of life, that's what it's all about. You are trying to provide solutions for people, either solutions for your customers or maybe just solutions for your own life. I mean, heck, we're all just running around trying to figure this out, hoping that we have the right keys to the castle to get us to the next level of where we want to go. One thing I've noticed is that there's so many people out there that are trying to focus on building their business that they don't understand that building the business, the key, I think at least, let's just put that out there, I believe firmly that if you want to be successful in business, you have got to focus on sales and marketing. Because without sales and marketing, in my opinion, well, you're going out of business, you just don't realize it. Now, I ask people all the time, what business are you in? So many times they'll say, well, I do production, or I do this service, I do that service. Look, the reality is you, me, everybody, I don't care if you're Chevrolet Motors, United Airlines, Frito-Lay, your company, my company, we are all in the sales and marketing business. We just sell and market something different. We sell a product, service, a concept, idea, a widget, whatever that is. But if nobody knows about it, nobody knows we exist, does it even matter? Because the reality is you're going out of business. Now, when we had our company, we had an unprecedented 1,471% return on our marketing dollars because we are so focused on building our business around marketing and sales. As a matter of fact, one of the first people we hired was the marketing person. So always remember that you are in the sales and marketing business. And look, if you are not creating lead generation and you're not making that phone ring and you're not driving traffic to your company, whether it's a physical people walking in the door or it's through online, however you want to do it. If you're not doing that on a regular basis and making that a pure focus, like I said, you are going out of business, you just don't realize it. Now, one of the things I've realized is a lot of people do not understand marketing and sales. They don't understand the definitive line between the two. So let me just break it down and make it very simple. Marketing makes the phone ring. Sales picks up the phone, answers it, and turns them into a client or customer. Now, when it comes to sales and marketing, they're completely two different people. They're two different roles. And more importantly, they're two different personalities. So when you think of a salesperson, salespeople are people that are very outgoing, very gregarious. They're very, kind of like the life of the party sometimes. They'll be sure to ask for the business and they make sure everyone knows who they are. And that's the type of personality most salespeople are. Not all, but most salespeople are that type of people. Marketing people are almost the complete opposite. So if you looked at a salesperson, they're going to be an extrovert. If you look at a marketing person, they're going to be more introvert. They're going to be running numbers. They're going to be analytical. They're going to be looking at data because they're testing and measuring what's working and what's not working in the marketing realm. So if you looked at the DISC personality profile, right, a salesperson, a great trait of a salesperson is a high I with D, meaning a high I, they're influential, they're social, they're chatty. D means they're decisive, so they go in for the close. Marketing people, a solid marketing person is actually a C personality. They're compliant, they like numbers, they like data, they like spreadsheets. They know the client acquisition cost, the lead marketing strategy, the acquisition per lead, per strategy. They know all the numbers and data, which if you know anything about salespeople, that is the complete opposite of how a salesperson thinks and what a salesperson wants to do. So again, one of the mistakes is a lot of times you think you're going to find a sales and marketing person, right? You kind of throw that in the same word. It's not. It's either a salesperson or it is a marketing person. And you got to make sure that you understand the difference between those two. One of the things about marketing and understanding marketing is making sure that you're running off of numbers. Facts and data when you market are so important because facts and data prove that you're the expert and you're not just saying it. Always remember that when you're marketing, people believe what they see, not what they hear. So when you have facts and data, I would make sure that I let people know this is the facts, this is the data, because it establishes you as the expert in the industry, right? Even if you both say it, but if you say it and you put it on paper or online and you put these facts and figures there before anyone else, you're considered the expert who knows it and they are not. So once somebody finds you, right, you have to have what's called a USP, which is a unique selling proposition. It's the sentence that makes you different when you're marketing. So for example, FedEx is the world on time, right? A lot of airlines, Nike's just do it. You've got airlines that, flying the friendly skies. These are all USPs, which are their unique selling propositions. If you don't have one, you need to create one. Now, one easy way to do it is you could take 9 subjects about yourself, maybe where you grew up, maybe your education, maybe your background, language you speak. All of these things, I suggest taking 9 and stringing that into a kind of a sentence, but just 3 or 4 letters of the sentence. Like I said, the world on time, right? That's saying Nike, just do it. Built Ford tough. These are all USPs that you want to make sure that you're adding to whenever someone thinks about you. It makes you different. It's your differentiator amongst everyone else so that people know who you are. And you want to use this to make sure that you put it out there as your tagline, right? So it could be on your business card, it could be on your cars, it could be on your website. When you have a tagline or USP, you want to put that everywhere. You want to make sure that everyone knows who you are, what you're about, why you're different, and more importantly, why should they use you, right? One of the things that after you have your USP is you got to identify who your target client is. Now, one thing you could do when you're doing marketing, especially if you've been in business for a while, is you could take your past clients. So for example, let's say you take your past customers over the last year. One thing I recommend to do is you grade them A through D. A, just like in school, is the best. C, A, B, C, D is the worst, right? So what is a D client? Well, a D client is someone who wastes your time, they're cheap, and they're just not a good fit for your business. And maybe every time they call you, you just kind of shaking your head like, oh man, I can't believe I got to deal with this person again. That's a D client, okay? You got to stop working with your D clients because they're taking all of your time and you're not making a return from them. Now you have a C client. C clients they're either cheap or they take a lot of your time, but normally not both. So you want to make sure that the C's are okay because they pay the bills, but you want to be able to at least get your C's up to B's, or you're going to have to make a decision and drop them down to a D and eventually you fire them. Now the B clients, they're actually the silent majority of all of your customers. You don't hear from them much. They're pretty quiet. They pay their bills. They're pretty easygoing. I mean, when you get a B, it's kind of a good conversation. No problem with them. You like them. They don't complain. They easygoing. The A's. Now the A's are very important because the A's are just like the B's, except the A's are evangelical. They're raving fans. They tell everyone about you. So what I would suggest is if you did this for the last year and you look at all your customers and clients, grade them. After you grade them, then what you do is you go in and you decide, okay, which ones are A's, B's, C's, and D's, okay? Take the A's and B's. Those are the ones that you really want to go after. You really don't want to go after the C's and you definitely don't want the D's. Ask yourself, what was the challenge that my A's and B's had? And how did I solve that challenge? Or how did my business solve that challenge? So the only way a transaction is going to happen is they have to have a challenge, you have to have a solution and solve that challenge. So ask yourself, what was their challenge? Now, if you're solving the challenge for D clients, guess what you're going to get? More D clients. But if you're solving the challenges for your A's and your B clients, well, now you're going after the A's and B's. And next thing you got to do is you've got to figure out, how do you get them to buy from you over and over again? How do you get repeat business? Ringing the cash register over and over again when it comes to marketing is lowering your client acquisition cost. So let's say, for example, you did something and it charges you $500 to get that client, to acquire a client. Well, if that client buys from you again, it doesn't exactly half it, but let's just say for this conversation, it gets you to $250. So now you don't have to go spend another $500 for another client. You've already got that client and they're going to ring the cash register again. So the key is getting repeat clients. And then last thing, the key is to make sure that they refer people to you, right? So each person statistically is going to be worth 5.7 referrals, which means every one of your A clients knows 5.7 other A clients. The biggest reason you probably don't get referrals, well, very simply, is you don't ask for them. You don't have a referral program. So I suggest you create a referral program so that you can come after them and you can get them to use your services just because they don't know about it. Now, I would ask yourself too is, okay, what are their pain points? What are their hobbies? What are their spending habits? What are their values? Also, maybe figure out what age bracket are they in. Are they, 20 to 25? Are they 30 to 50? What are those A and B clients, right? And then where do they hang out, right? Are they on social media? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Facebook, Instagram? Are they in the newspapers? Are they in Chronicles? Where do these people go that you could put your marketing message in front of them? And how do you stay in touch with them? So that's the biggest challenge of understanding your target and understanding how to get in front of these people, is understanding that model. And then you've got to understand, like, where do they shop? Meaning, are they shopping online? And what kind of stores are they going into, right? What types of websites do they visit? What type of stores would they be at? Maybe where do they or their children go to school, church, shopping malls, right? These are the things you want to do this because you want to make sure that you're getting your message out in front of the right person, meaning the A's and B's, right? Now, there's many, many ways that you could market, right? And I'm going to go through a list of some of these. First way is through networking, right? So you can go to networking events. The biggest challenge when people go to networking events is they go there and they either hand out a bunch of cards or they just collect a bunch of cards with no real action items. I recommend when you go to a marketing event, you go there with SMART goals. And if you don't know what a SMART goal is, it's specific, measurable, action, results, and time. You could probably Google that and get the detailed explanation. But go there saying, like, okay, I want to meet 5 contractors that are going to increase my net operating income 30% in the next 12 months. Well, now you're going there specifically looking for a specific person, right? If somebody comes and they're not that type of person, then that's not the target you want to talk to. Go there with very specific intentions. And also ask a lot of questions. Don't just say what you do. Ask what they do. Ask how you can help them. So many people go to these events and they just want to talk about themselves. That is not, in my opinion, the best way to market. You should go there with the intent of learning about other people. They say the best thing you can do is be interested in other people, not interesting to other people, meaning you're asking questions, you're not just talking. So networking is a great way to get yourself out there. Obviously, you've got e-marketing. This is email, anything electronic, whether it's a flyer or anything e-modeled, you can do that through a CRM system. There's a lot of free ones out there. You could always do print media. Print media still works. The challenge is that it is costly, number one, and number two, you're going to be geographically limited to who gets their hands on the print media. You could also do strategic alliances. Strategic alliances are people that are in your industry. So for example, let's say you're a real estate agent. Well, you've got mortgage brokers, you've got plumbers, electricians, you've got title companies, you've got property management companies. These are all strategic alliances because they're in your industry. You don't have to necessarily share your data, but you could share events and do events with them, and you could synergize with them. Host beneficiary is people who are not in your industry. So these are people like, maybe, again, we'll take you, the real estate agent. Now, let's say you get a florist, a dry cleaner, hair salon. These are all people that you could do stuff with that you're out of their realm. And the reason this is important is because you are going to come as a warm referral from a flower shop, and that is going to be much different than somebody just seeing your sign down the road. You can also get reviews. Reviews are very, very important. If you're not actively asking for reviews, I would suggest you start. Testimonials, video testimonials on your website are amazing. You can do reputation management. So reputation management is Google reviews, Yelp, all these other things. Believe it or not, just like you, when you probably go onto Amazon or something, you look at reviews, right? That's what people do. They look at reviews. So a review is considered the same as a personal referral. They don't know me, but they say, well, you know what? If 500 other people said they like Steve, then I can't be that wrong, so I'm going to use them. But if 500 are next to me and you only have 2, who do you think they're going to use? And normally, if you only have 2, chances are they're going to be the bad reviews. So you've got to focus on reputation management. Again, I would also highly suggest that you get a CRM. CRM is a contact resource management. It's basically all the emails, all the contacts that you get. It's a place for them. It's a software. There's very, very in-depth ones like Salesforce, and then there's free ones that you could get that you could utilize depending on how much you want to invest in that. But remember that CRM systems are very, very important. You could also do a lot of social media. Social media is easy because it's free. Well, there are free options. You can obviously pay for ads, but everyone's doing it. So you got to make sure you're consistent with that. E-marketing is definitely something to go for. I would recommend also that you do video blogs. Video blogs do not cost you anything, but it's consistency. You know, don't just do one. You're going to have to do more like 500 of them to be effective to get yourself out there. So you've got to really realize that if you're going to do video blogs and you're going to be having them on your website or on social media, you've got to make sure that you are consistent in your video blogs. Otherwise, you are not going to be found. I mean, let's face it. The number one way you're going to be found is through Google or YouTube. And Google owns YouTube. So if you want to be out there, video content is king. If you're not doing video, you are not going to be relevant in this industry. They've got to be able to find you, and they've got to be able to, once they get on your website or they look at you on YouTube, they're going to get that know, like, and trust. And that's what they're going to get when it comes to finding you and looking you up and seeing if you're an educator. So again, remember, you've got to focus on all these things, and you've got to remember that sales and marketing are two totally different things. They are not the same. You've got to focus on marketing to make the phone ring. I've got other videos that I do on sales. I'm not going to get into sales here, and I got other podcast shows on sales. Sales are vital. But again, if your phone's not ringing and it's not ringing from the right person, does it really matter? I get so many people that they've got the best widget. They're so happy that they've created the best process, the best policy, the best procedure. The problem is nobody knows who they are. They have no idea that they even exist. People think that if you build it, they will come. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's true, because I know a lot of people that build businesses and they get up to next major marketing machine companies and they get put out of business. Not because they don't have a better product. Their product is superior. The problem is nobody knows about it. And the masses go with mass marketing. So again, if you want to be noticed and you want to be successful and you want to get out there to be a part of something different, you have to understand that marketing is key. Marketing is math. And remember, you are investing in marketing. You're not spending. You've got to make sure that you metric it. You've got to make sure that you understand where your money's going in marketing. And you've got to make sure you understand what is working and, more importantly, what is not working. So I strongly recommend that you go through KPIs, key performance indicators, and you test and measure. Normally they say anywhere between 30 to 90 days you should test campaigns. Depends on the volume you're pushing through, meaning how much money you're investing and injecting into that marketing campaign. But again, you can't just do one and say either this worked and it was great or it didn't work. You've got to run it, you've got to test it, you've got to see what works. They all work. They're just different variations. The key to marketing is consistency. It's believing in what you're doing and making sure that you are solving a problem for your target clients. Focus on your target clients, solve their problems, come up with solutions, and you will be amazing. So this is Steve with High Stakes with Steve Rozenberg. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that you know you need to do. Let other people know about this. And please, if you like this, leave me a review. Talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.